Now, what a year it's been for politics. 4 chancellors, 3 prime ministers, 2 monarchs, 1 year. The only constant in 2022 seemed to be change. And don't forget Beergate, Partygate. Do you even remember those things? It was all a huge political turmoil. In his first New Year's message as Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak warned the UK's problems will not go away in 2023.
But 2023 will give us an opportunity to showcase the very best of Britain on the world stage, continuing to stand with our Ukrainian friends against Putin's brutality and defending freedom and democracy wherever we find it under threat. In this historic year of His Majesty the King's coronation, we will come together with pride in everything that makes this country great.
That is something to look forward to, isn't it, the coronation? In his own New Year message, the Labour leader, Sir Keir Starmer, promised to continue making the case for a new Britain that would fix struggling public services and grow the economy for everyone.
But for hope to flourish, Britain needs to change. The way working people are struggling this winter, the way our public services are on the brink, demands nothing less. So this year, my Labour Party will set out the case for change, the case for a new Britain, the case for hope, a country where we can grow the economy for everyone, not just the privileged few.
So how does that all make you feel? Does it fill you full of the joys of spring for 2023? Well, to discuss the prospects of the new year for UK politics, we have James Heale, the Spectator diary editor, in the studio with us. Hi. I don't even know where to start, actually, because it does seem incredible, doesn't it, Stephen, that Partygate, Beergate was well over a year ago now.
I mean, it's incredible. We began the year talking about COVID, and now we are, at the end of it, 12 months on, still talking about COVID variants. It's been an incredible year. A lot of political instability here in the UK, 3 prime ministers, as you say. And that's partly because of things like worldwide forces. You've got inflation and energy with Putin's war in Russia, but also just the legacy, the hangover of COVID with the costs of that and all the pressures that's putting on the economy and politics as well with things like Partygate.
We are going to see, though, aren't we, James, a bit more stability. I mean, certainly Rishi is playing things fairly quietly at the moment, which I guess is what most people want. But it then leaves a bit of a gap as to quite what Keir Starmer's going to do.
Yes, and both Sunak and Starmer sort of take a premium on competence and basic managerialism. So I think that after the last 12 months, understandably, that's probably a pretty good bet. I think the country's had enough ups and downs over the past 12 months. And really, it'll be coming into the short to medium term before that general election period and trying to deal with some of the big problems that we have facing the country on inflation, on pay strikes and on immigration as well. So that's all that we look forward to over the next 6 months or so. And, of course, the coronation as well.
Yes, I mean, when you look back, not only politically was it tumultuous, but of course the Queen died as well, which put the country into a sense of shock and suspended politics for a while. Yeah,
I think so. And I think that when you look back in 10, 20 years' time, that will be one of the few major events we remember of this year. The Queen was a world figure. Less than a handful or so British figures can really claim to be that over the past half century or so. And I think that will be something that has ripple effects all around the world in things like the Commonwealth, how we present ourselves to the world when the coronation comes in May. And I think also perhaps a sense perhaps of an age ending and a new age beginning as well.
As we move into the new year tomorrow, less than 24 hours to go, which seems like a very odd prospect somehow at the moment, do you think the Tories have taken their finger off the self-destruct button?
I think the Tory finger is never too far from the self-destruct button at the moment. But I think that they basically have made a gamble, which is that they want to prioritise having sort of basic competence back again, demonstrating they have the basic ability, the competence to govern, and thereafter try and push on in late 2023 into some of these issues and actually trying to get to grips with them. But for now, it seems at least that there's a sort of consensus on all sides in the Tory war, which is to at least have a Christmas hiatus before returning when Parliament comes back next week.